But I tell you what, how about we shift over to something a little lighter?
Like what?
Halloween movies.
The list?
The list of Halloween movies.
I think we do our list when we wrap this up.
Yeah, dude. So, really quick, everybody, I know, everybody knows somebody who's got their Halloween. We grew up with like the 30 Days of Halloween on ABC and stuff like that. So I asked Magnus and Will, I asked for 10 movies. They're 10 gotta watch Halloween movies. These aren't necessarily the 10 best Halloween movies in anyone's opinion. These are just 10 movies that we try to watch.
If you're looking for any suggestions.
Yeah. So what I did first was I had these lists sent to me individually because I didn't want any list to influence the others. I wanted just 10 movies quick off the top of your head. And Mag screwed up. That's okay because Will didn't see it. So what I did was I compiled each list and I got all the mentions, the extra mentions, or the repeated mentions. And the number one, I combined these, was the original Evil Dead trilogy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because
we
I
all
think
picked that?
You guys both said Army of Darkness. You and I both said Evil Dead. For me, it's always Evil Dead 1 and 2.
I said Army of Darkness / Evil Dead.
Okay, that was it. I couldn't remember. Sorry, there was one of you who did that.
It's just
because
you had
said Evil.
I kind of look at them as a collection.
Exactly. To me, Evil Dead 1 and 2 is one movie.
Yes.
It's one long movie that repeats itself.
And like three nights ago, I had Linnea watch Army of Darkness. And
That's
I'm
right, you
like,
were telling us
I'm
that.
like, I'll give you like maybe 2 or 3 years and we'll watch Evil Dead.
Yeah.
And Evil Dead 2.
Right? Let her get a little older. The other one that we had, and so the rest of these are all just duplicates that at least 2 of us had mentioned. So we've got the Evil Dead trilogy, which is available on Hulu. None of the rest of these are available on streaming. Cabin in the Woods.
Ooh, amazing.
Great movie. Drew Goddard wrote and directed. Awesome movie. Kind of takes a lot of the tropes of old horror movies and makes something awesome out of it.
I like it because it's also has comedic factors.
Yes,
in it.
they nail all the tropes hilariously.
It's great.
The Ring was mentioned multiple times. I think for us in the mid twos,
the original, and I say the original being the American remake, was the first one that I saw. Like, that was some scary shit.
Dude,
it wrecked me
in high school, bro. That was it, man.
Yeah.
That
we
set off
were
a
the
whole
target
genre.
audience for that movie exactly as well.
And it kicked everyone right in the chode.
And like the idea of just like tapes and viral videos and just,
dude, I didn't want to go into my closet at night.
Yeah.
Dude, did you know that the original marketing for that movie was they would go to major cities, go to concerts, go to bars, to nightclubs, and they would leave a blank tape.
Dude, sweet.
And it was the video in the Ring. Yeah. That's it. They didn't say, gotta see the movie great. The Ring in theaters this summer.
That's the best.
That was nothing. So then what happened was all these people, thousands of people saw these videos. And this is really before social media was really kind of diving forward. Yeah. So it was all word of mouth, like, holy shit, you gotta watch this crazy show that I saw. And then all of a sudden the Super Bowl trailer dropped. And it was that video, and everyone's like, what the F are we watching? And they're like, The Ring. And then everybody kind of made that connection. Mm-hmm. But yeah, dude, the visuals of The Ring, the colors of The Ring, dude, I love that movie.
There's something about Eastern horror that's just really upsetting.
Yeah. It's hard to view. Because it's very confusing. It's
psychological, man.
Yeah. And oh man, and I know another movie you're gonna mention.
A lot of playing off your disgust factor.
I have something sad for you. There's only one more movie on this list.
And real quick, there's an author. It's a Junji Ito. He's this like a manga comic Japanese horror author.
Okay.
And he's famous for this one that's all about spirals and these people who go crazy from seeing spirals and everything and getting obsessed with spirals and the shape of a spiral, and it like drives them crazy and drives them mad. And there's another story about this cliff face that shows like all of a sudden one day there's a bunch of holes in this like mountain face, and the holes are shaped like people, and the person watching this news story sees a hole and they're like, that's my hole, like that's my hole. So then they go there, they're drawn to that area, they strip down completely naked, and they just walk into their hole, and it's shaped like only they can fit
like
in it.
them.
And they know that they need to go in. They know that they need to go in this hole.
Freaking Japanese
and there's
people,
only
man,
one way in.
Scary.
Yeah. No, like there's just something really upsetting about like Eastern horror. Like the way, like just things that you've never thought of that you're like, holy shit.
It's because I think mystery, like it lures you in, but then
check out Junji Ito. Man.
I need to.
When it makes no sense, it breaks down reality and it turns to horror. It's just so frightening.
Even think about, and even with The Ring, The idea that we always try to hide from the monster. You never wanted to reveal the monster. In The Ring, you see the monster for way too long. And you're like, dude, okay, I need something else to happen. And it just doesn't leave.
But I think it's the mystery is, I think, what makes it so terrifying. Like in The Ring and well, I almost said it, but I don't. The Grudge. I don't know if that's one of the films.
That's not on our overall list.
Okay, well,
just so you know,
those films have a lot of mystery involved in them. Like take the film The Shining, for example.
I mean, they're detective stories.
And then The Shining. The Shining was terrifying, but for a long time, you're like, this is a story about a guy who just self-destructs.
This is a crazy guy who goes crazy.
Then there's that scene when he's sitting in that room, and then the door opens by itself. And you go, whoa, what the shit? Like, this is not the film I thought it was. Yeah. For that moment, it subverts, and all of a sudden, all this mystery comes in, and then all of a sudden, all this horror, because you're like, this is not what I thought it was. It's when something really challenges your idea of reality. That's what really brings a lot of
pushing, and then they find
horror.
It and they go deeper. Yeah,
and I think the films coming from the East, like they do that better than anybody.
Yeah, they had that emotional. So a little East connection, but it's not an Eastern horror. The last movie that was mentioned at least twice was The Conjuring.
The Conjuring is good.
It's good.
For us, The Ring was terrifying, right? Mm-hmm. The Grudge, for some reason, the three of us especially, that movie scared me in a way that I don't understand, because we watched it. Corey and I watched it 2 months ago, and I was like, this is dumb now.
So real quick, did you watch it the first time with me?
No.
Okay.
It was you and I and Andrew, and we went to the Provo Town Center, and I remember thinking, holy shit, this is terrifying.
It was.
And I'm like, but I wanted to seem cool because I was with you guys. I look over, Andrew's got his legs up, and he's watching through his hands, and you're just like this. And I'm like, dude, this is something
It was intense.
So we watched it. I watched it for the first time at Stars' Theater.
Oh, yeah.
And
I bought it on DVD the day it came out. That's right.
Yeah, and so this theater is just like a sound stage, like a studio.
Huge,
just cubic room. There's a giant cube.
Yeah, with soundproofing everywhere.
Black soundproofing foam covering every square inch of the wall.
Huge theater screen.
And we've got a projector in the back shooting to the theater screen in the front. We got these huge speakers, great sound.
The speakers are what made it so
even Lord of the Rings was terrifying.
Because there's so much bass.
It was just so loud.
Here's the worst part, is that the chairs, like the couches that we were sitting on, were set up in the middle of the room. So there's all this empty black space behind you, and to the left and to the right of you. And just watching this movie, I was convinced that I was going to die.
Yes.
Dude, like, I remember Josh tried to walk out, and I was like, bro, you're right. He goes, no, this is too scary.
You remember when we saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre there?
Yeah.
It was the same thing.
It's too much.
But the Grudge was the first time that I realized the power of Stars' Theater. And it's just like, I shouldn't watch a movie like this if I don't want to feel like I'm going to die.
Sure.
But at the same time, I cherish that viewing of that movie like almost more than any other horror movie.
Did you know I was going to buy a wig?
And if you had done that, I think I would have died of fright.
Do you remember though, we had made like a sacred pact that none of us would scare each other with the Grudge, because we knew that we would invite the real Grudge. I mean, this is crazy. People are going to listen to this and they're going to make fun of us because they're like, that movie was dumb.
I had a lot of trouble sleeping after
that
this
first night,
taking showers.
Remember, I had a pile of clothes in the closet, and I look over and I'm like, oh,
your hands through your hair.
I still sometimes to this day have trouble taking a shower with my eyes closed. Like sometimes I'll get like thinking about creepy stuff,
the hair,
and it brings me back to that like time when I was so scared of the Grudge that if I opened my eyes and looked down, that the Grudge was going to be there,
or the little boy meowing like a cat.
Well, probably not the little boy,
dude.
But
No, for me that was the scariest.
It was terrifying.
I remember laying in bed, and it was Chris and I, because we were living with your parents, and I looked over and I had a pile of laundry in the closet, and I was like, holy crap, that's that kid. And he's just like on all fours looking at me, and I just stared at him for like 8 hours, this pile of clothes. I didn't sleep that first night, and because I was so genuinely terrified. But honestly, man, it did not hold up. The Ring holds up. The Grudge does not.
I know, and that's the thing. I don't even like to watch The Grudge anymore because
I wish I wouldn't have.
It's not as scary as it was seeing it that first time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So let's get into The Conjuring, because I think The Conjuring. So when we think about those big scary
Anyways,
movies,
The Grudge didn't make the list,
right? Unfortunately, because I didn't put it on my must watch.
Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. You know what though? The Ring really is good. Like I did see that one maybe like
The Ring's a great
3 or 4 years ago,
also.
and yeah, it's a good movie. I
watch it every year on Halloween.
Do you know it's in Astoria?
Yeah.
He was filmed in Astoria.
Right? In fact, I think
He's not a tumor.
I was always convinced that the house in Kindergarten Cop is the house in The Ring too. But I was never able to actually look into it, see if it was or not. But
real quick, last Astoria fact. Have you ever
would you say
heard of
first
Silent
Astoria
Hill?
fact? No, I haven't. What is it?
So Silent Hill, have you ever heard of that game series?
Yeah.
The first
What's it
Silent
about?
This town called Silent Hill that's like haunted and there's fog and shit. Anyways, spooky
What about
monsters.
the
It's
movie?
like Resident Evil.
What about the movie? Did you
Sean
like the
Bean
movie?
doesn't die in the movie.
Sean Bean doesn't die in the movie.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Probably the only film.
Anyways, the game, if you look this up online, you don't have to do it right now, but the game is modeled after the town in Kindergarten Cop.
Cool.
And so and there's even like scenes in the game where you're in like an elementary school.
Yeah.
And there's like bulletin board, and then they have like a screenshot of the bulletin board from Kindergarten Cop, and it's the exact same thing. Someone just digitized it and put it in the game.
That's awesome.
So basically they were huge fans of
They knew how
Kindergarten
awesome
Cop.
that movie is.
Yeah.
We watched Conjuring, the first one, 2 nights ago, as the Halloween movie.
know what?
Insidious used to be on that list, and Insidious has kind of fallen off.
I think that
it
The
doesn't
Conjuring is one of the scariest PG-13 movies out there.
Is it PG-13?
Oh yeah. You can double check me on that.
I'm going to right now.
Like,
I always thought it was rated
watching
R.
it. I feel like it should probably be rated R just from how like hardcore scary it is. Like it's genuinely
the first time
a
seeing The
scary
Conjuring was
movie.
close to The Grudge and The Ring, where I was like, "This is the scariest movie I've seen in a long time," and it's so well made.
Dang it! It's R.
Yeah. So is the second one. Damn it. But it could be. I mean, it's not a lot of
okay.
language, but you're
That's
right.
okay.
It's just genuinely terrifying. And that's James Wan. You know, he and what he's been able to do. We talk about the connected universe. There's 2 Conjuring movies. There's 3 or 4 Annabelle movies. There's The Nun. There's The Curse of La Llorona.
Real quick.
All the Insidious movies.
Patrick Wilson. You know, he's kind of alive because like he's probably his whole you know how Bruce Campbell has Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson has
the
James
Conjuring.
Wan and this
Patrick
whole
Wilson
Conjuring
has
universe.
the Phantom of the
Right.
Opera. Thank you very much. The
Dude,
Andrew Lloyd Webber movie version directed by what was his name? I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah, he's in
Isn't
that
Gerard
one.
Butler in that
Yeah,
movie too?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Patrick Wilson has to sing in every scary movie he's in.
He sings in The Tall Grass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was okay.
It's that Creedence Clearwater Revival song. Hey, real quick, that movie, remember how I was talking about like horror movie, like lawn stuff, like weird grass controlling your mind?
No. What are you talking about?
Anyways.
Oh, on text?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant in this. I was like, what?
No, I sent you a message just
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
I was mowing my lawn and I'm like, dude, it'd be really cool if there's like a story about like the lawn mind controlling you, right?
Oh, yeah.
And then
he
that
sent
movie,
the picture of The Happening.
oh yeah, The Happening. And
that's
then,
what that
and then
movie's
the
about.
Tall Grass movie came out and I'm like, oh, a horror movie about grass. This is the best.
Yeah.
It was pretty okay. Patrick Wilson. Back
Patrick
on track.
Wilson is there.
Back on track.
So when I was looking at the list, and then I kind of want to go through and have you guys, we'll run through each of your lists really quick, and then you give me a sales pitch for one.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing was in each list, there was one movie that I kind of picked out as what I thought would be our quote guilty pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give you mine first, and I'll tell you why, and then so on and so forth. So for me, the movie that's on my list of must-watch Halloween movies, for me, not for anybody else necessarily, is the movie As Above, So Below. And it's first of all, it's the handy cam, shaky cam, bullcrap movie like Blair Witch, which I absolutely cannot stand. But for some reason with this movie, I don't know.
You know
I
what
don't mind
works too, though, is and it didn't make my list, but it almost did. Is Rec. REC.
Oh yeah,
dude,
yeah,
that one's
yeah.
good.
That's a good one.
The original.
Ooh.
I never saw
It's all in Spanish.
Rec and Rec 2 are great.
But so As Above, So Below, to give you an idea of what it's about a group of people who want to find basically the Sorcerer's Stone, and they want to go Nicholas Flamel, put the Sorcerer's Stone in catacombs underneath Paris. And there's just hundreds and hundreds of miles of catacombs. A lot of them haven't been explored. You know, parts of the city fall in. They have to rebuild it. Anyways, and it's this group of explorers, treasure hunters, wanting to find the Sorcerer's Stone. And I don't know why, because like when I think about the movie, it has everything that I hate in a movie. But the first time we watched it, there's scenes that were so weirdly jarring. And it shocked me because I thought it was going to be dumb the entire time. And I ended up like visually really enjoying the journey. And I mean, they're underground, so you know, it's just very claustrophobic. It's very close. And yeah, we watch it every single year. It's 100% the guilty pleasure. It's on Netflix.
I'll have to check that one out. I actually haven't seen that.
And your two movies, I seen yours part of it once, but I fell asleep. Not because it was bad, because I did, and I didn't even know yours existed. So why don't you go? Well, tell us your guilty pleasure. My guess was The Descent.
Right. Well, it probably, out of all the ones on that list, it probably is the guilty pleasure one. That one was terrifying for me for some of the same reasons that you're saying. Like it's a film about explorers. They're exploring this cave, and it's kind of like a descent into Dante's hell.
Is that the one where they're like?
There's all these
okay.
And there's all these creatures that they come across that are trying to kill them underground, and it's claustrophobic. It's terrifying. Yeah. The first half of that film is gold. Like you don't see a lot of the monsters, and so it's like it's more left to your imagination. Yeah. Way more frightening. When the monsters are actually revealed, the second half isn't as strong as the first half, but it's still good. That film, when it originally came out, had two endings. If you watch it, the first ending is by far the best ending.
Interesting. Yeah, that's funny because As Above, So Below is the exact opposite. The second half is where it gets really good because once they get down into the catacombs and you start to see different things.
Yeah, it's just pretty creepy, man.
When I showed Corey this, she was really excited to watch The Descent. She was really, really excited for yours because we're always looking for the next horror movie we've never seen. My guess of your guilty pleasure was Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Dude, it's so good. Like, it's so underrated. Like, it's one of the, again, kind of talking about like horror movies that aren't just, you know, horror for horror and gore and slasher. It's like a detective story. These guys, this father and son duo, they're these autopsy technicians. I don't know what you would call that, but they're just doing an autopsy and nothing is
cadaver
making sense.
Fondlers. That's what I call it.
It's like a Lovecraft story where things are like biologically not making sense. It's like, is this even a human being that we're doing this autopsy of? Like, this isn't. And it's hard to like really talk about it at length without giving too much away.
I dig.
Not saying necessarily there's a bunch of twists, there's a bunch of this, but the mystery. I don't want to rob you of that experience if you haven't seen the movie. It's great.
Corey and I plan on watching both of yours.
You have to be okay with a degree of dead body nudity because it's an autopsy.
There's one with Christina Ricci where Liam Neeson, she is in the morgue and Liam Neeson can talk to corpses and she's dead and she's naked like the whole time. And Justin Long's her fiance. Oh shit, I can't remember the name of it, but it's decent. It's not scary.
What I find is that I have films that are nowadays, the films that scare me the most are the ones that aren't very supernatural.
Agreed.
They feel like they could really happen.
The Strangers.
Or yes, that's on our list. It was on my list.
It's on mine too. In The Thing for you and I.
Oh yeah, The Thing. So
that's got to be.
If you've never seen John Carpenter's The Thing, it's a must view. Like
Kurt Russell at his most handsome. He's the most handsome man ever to live, ever in the history of all men. In that movie, he's maximum handsomeness.
Did you know that there's only one female character in The Thing, and it's the computer. The voice on the computer.
Oh, weird.
Is a female voice, and that's it.
In the remake,
and
they
then
had
it's a
that
sausage
chick.
fest at that point.
Interesting. So really quick, let me go through the 10 that we each had.
It's a great movie, though.
And then I want you to
It's
pick
technically
one.
a remake. Did you ever see the original, by the way? It's an old like black and white movie.
Oh, weird. I didn't know that.
I can lend it to you someday if you want. But
anyways, the remake?
So John Carpenter's is a remake. The original existed in like the, kind of golden age of Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a, Day the Earth Stood Still kind of.
Is it kind of the same story?
Black
basically?
and white.
alien entity. Or...
There's the entity's like plant based. It's really stupid, and it's also based off a book.
Dumb.
I know. So, anyways, the original is like this kind of 50s, 60s era, like golden age of Hollywood. Then there's John Carpenter's version, which is kind of to practical effects, 80s horror, monsters.
So it is so
really
good.
And they've got that scene in it with the stop motion at the end that I think is kind of paying homage to the the golden age of Hollywood, right? The what came before. And then they ruined the new movie with all the CG and everything. The prequel,
those aliens, the ship. It was like
it has potential, but it's just not as good.
I feel like X-Men. I want to believe, or whatever. Mulder goes to the
John
UFO.
John Carpenter's The Thing is a 10 out of 10.
100 out of 10.
Yeah, 7.
Especially
10 Shyamalans out of 7.
Agreed. It's 10 Shyamalans out of 7 for handsomeness to Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the list. Let me go through Mag, yours first. Army of Darkness, The Thing, Beetlejuice, The Shining, Autopsy of Jane Doe, The Conjuring, The Grudge, The Ring, The Myst. I almost had The Myst on mine, but I don't watch it every Halloween. I watch it all the time. And Ravenous. Give me a sales pitch on one of those movies. The one I'm not going to watch.
Beetlejuice?
Or Ravenous.
Beetlejuice.
Give me the sales pitch on Beetlejuice. Dude. Or give us the proverbial we.
Beetlejuice, I would say, is one of the best Halloween type movies, just because ghosts, monsters, you've got the bizarre like Tim Burton geography, weird pointy stuff. It's kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas and everything, but just the idea of a reverse exorcism where we're all about a story where we're kicking the demons out. This is about a demon that's kicking the humans out of the house. It's just I really like that role reversal. So
right on.
And it's Michael Keaton. I love Michael Keaton.
Right.
My Batman.
My films weren't in order.
No, and I didn't preface that. That was no order, I assume.
Yeah, it was just kind of.
I threw in some fun ones because it wasn't. I didn't go for just straight horror.
And again, on my list. This list was 10 movies you watch every Halloween. Yeah. Will's was Hocus Pocus, Evil Dead and Army of Darkness is one. Cabin in the Woods, Shaun of the Dead, Gremlins, The Strangers, 28 Days and Weeks Later, The Descent, Dawn of the Dead, The Exorcist. Sales pitch us on one of them.
On one of them?
One of them.
Do you remember how we watched The Exorcist for the first time?
I remember us seeing it. Oh, yeah.
What?
Me and Will watched The Exorcist with my mom.
That was awkward.
It was one of it was one of those movies where maybe she felt like she had a moral obligation to like be the adult in their room just in case or something.
In case we needed a prayer.
It made that one scene really awkward with the cross.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just a good old
sales
time.
pitch me on Hocus Pocus, dude.
You've seen it, right?
Yeah, I don't love it.
So I don't super love it. No. Sarah,
the remake might. When Disney Plus gets a hold of it.
Sarah is obsessed with that movie.
Dude, so is Corey and the kids. They love it.
I think it's just fun. I watched it a lot of... Every Halloween, it was always on TV. And I'd go and like trick or treat. And when I'd come back, it was always on TV. Yeah. And they play it much like at Christmas time. You got the Christmas Story. It's just on repeat. And so I look at it as just Halloween nostalgia.
No, I love it. And that's a good pitch.
For that, I would say the exact same pitch for Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah.
Like same reason. It's not a good movie, but I love when it's on TV.
You gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my list: Drag Me to Hell, Evil Dead 1 and 2, Cabin in the Woods, Friday the 13th, the original or the remake. I don't care. There's good nudity in the remake. So Corey, that's why Corey and I watched the new one. It's got some intense, but it's a ton of boobs.
Nice.
The Strangers, The Ring, It Follows, which is so good.
Dude, It Follows is really good.
The Conjuring 1 and 2, The Thing, and As Above, So Below. I had a couple honorable mentions. Hereditary, because it's so good, but I haven't watched it every Halloween. Us, and The Babadook, which is a great one.
I haven't seen The Babadook yet.
It used to be on Netflix, and it was so good, and it's not on Netflix anymore, so I don't know if it's on another streaming service. If I had to pitch one, I would cheat and pitch 1.5. Watch It Follows on Netflix. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Just watch it.
Yeah, It Follows is great.
Have you seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh, dude. You'll
watch it.
You'll love it.
You'll love it. It's a horror. It's a horror for us when we're like, dude, I'll just punch a ghost. This is good. But I would sales pitch Drag Me to Hell. Yeah. It's the best.
Drag Me to Hell is a good. It's a freaking thrill ride.
Yeah, it's so fun and hilarious, and for us especially, I feel like Sam Raimi was sitting around one day and thought, Man, I haven't done anything for those guys in a while. I'm gonna whip out Drag Me to Hell. Justin Long, Alison Lohman, and it's very, very much in the vein of the Evil Dead, especially more so Army of Darkness.
Did you know that
in the comedy?
The scene where the old lady pukes in her mouth,
Uh-huh.
she didn't know that was going to happen. Like the actress didn't know that the puke was going to go on her from the dead body being on top of her.
Yeah.
Sometimes when directors do that,
Yeah.
you get the best
Oh, yeah.
reactions.
You get real reactions. But yeah, that's Corey and I's Halloween night.
Yeah.
We go trick-or-treating with the kids, whatever, get them
That's
to bed,
good.
and it's Drag Me to Hell. And that's an awesome PG-13. I don't think it's for everybody because the level of comedy and just absolute absurdism.
Yeah.
But it's so good. It's a good time. But yeah, for you, if you haven't seen It Follows, watch it as soon as possible.
Agreed.
Okay.
That's a must. Real quick, while we're talking scary movies, again, we're pretty much kind of done here, but I want to mention It Chapter 2, just real quick.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I'm just kidding. I did see it.
I didn't see it.
I did see it.
I heard that it's the same story, but they're older.
Yeah, and that's how the book was written. The book was written with, chapter 1 is their kids, and then chapter 2, chapter 3. It's like it jumps back and forth, kind of the way that The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix does it. The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix does the story, like the flow of the story, much better than the two movies of It, if that makes
Agreed.
sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was good. It was fun. Stephen King has a really fun little cameo in it.
The best scene in that movie is the dinner scene in the Chinese restaurant before the end of the dinner scene. That first part, all of them together laughing and remembering.
It just felt genuine-ish.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And then the rest of that movie, you're like, get them back in a room together.
The movie definitely has problems, but
the adult actors were amazing. Mm-hmm. They cast everybody perfectly.
The guy
it
who
wasn't
plays
scary
Eddie.
At all. The guy who plays Eddie is so good.
Eddie as an adult is really good, yeah.
I wasn't nervous or scared for 1 second of that movie. Yeah, it was a cash grab, plain and simple, and that's fine.
I kind of want to see if they are gonna do like a mega cut.
Yeah, the director has said Andy
and
Muschietti.
again, I don't want just movie 1, movie 2. I want it to be like
he wants to cut it all
together.
Yeah, he wants to cut everything up.
Yep.
He said he's like the studio's going to be mad at me for saying this, but
it's like
I'd like to cut this the right way.
And I guess there's like several hours of cut footage that they still want to put back into it as well. So that's cool. Anyways, it was pretty good. If you're looking for a good Halloween clown movie and Joker's too hard edge for you,
Right.
go see It Chapter 2.
Right on.
Yeah,
well,
man.
I guess that sums it up. So
Hey, I have a really good while we're talking about scary movies and The Shining, real quick. I have a funny joke that I want to tell. So, you know how you get out of a maze if you're ever lost in a maze?
You just always go the same direction, so you take left all the way until you go out.
Yeah.
So, how did Matthew McConaughey find his way out of the maze?
All right.
Boom.
Nice.
All
right on. Thanks for hanging out.
Not like this.